what's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be working on this 2014 Chevy Silverado 1500. It's a 5.3, and we're going to be replacing the AC compressor. So first thing, probably going to have to do, get this air box and intake out of the way so that we can get down lower to where the AC compressor is at. So to get this off, we're just going to need a flathead. I'm going to loosen this side up at the throttle body, and then this side over here at the airbox, you might not have to remove this, might not get in our way. Then we got these PCV hoses. These PCV hoses just have a little tab that you have to push on, and it should let loose. These are a little bit tight on there, but they'll come off. All right, now that we got those loose, we should be able to just pull these off and out of the way. Next step is figuring out what happened. Oh my gosh, the belt really got chewed up on there. This compressor never gave me any signs that it was going bad. Just one day, all of a sudden, I heard the belt start squealing, and yeah, the AC got warm, and that's where we're at now. But it looks like a lot of the belt got melted onto the crank. I'm gonna have to clean all that up. Is it still on here? Oh yeah, check it out, the belt's still on here. It ripped, but it was still there. Still has a GM part number. It was probably the original belt. Let's see, we have a ground here that looks like it might be in our way. We're probably gonna have to remove this this belt for when we put the other belt on. And I think I only see two mounting bolts. One bolt, one stud, and I believe this might have two electrical connectors. And then you got the one bolt that holds both the lines onto the AC compressor. So I'll start with taking off this, looks like a ground that's right here that's in the way. It looks like a 13. Looks like they might all be 13s. So 13 for the ground and two 13s for the mounting bolts. So, all right, yep, 13. Take that one off. Put that bolt off to the side, and then we can move this ground strap out of the way. All right, so you can see, so this was on there like that. This is for the wiring. You can take that off. You have this, I believe it's also a 13, and I think it's a 13. This one holds both lines together. Then you got this connector right here. Should be able to, there you go. You push down on that tab and then pull out, and they usually have a little locking tab, and this one does not have that, so we don't have to worry about it. There's also a connector on the back that we can't get to right now. We won't be able to get to it until we pull the compressor out of its place. Like, before you take it all the way out, there's going to be one more connector that you have to get to, and same when you go to put it back in, you got to connect that connector back before you put the compressor all the way back in. But before we do any of this, removing any lines, you need to evacuate the AC system. You can do it yourself, or know somebody that can do it, or you need to go to a shop to evacuate the AC system, or you want to be a wild boy and just let it drain out into the atmosphere. You know, whatever works for you, go ahead and do that. I already have the AC system evacuated, so I don't have to worry about that. I just have to remove the lines and unbolt the compressor, then we can get to that back connector and get this compressor all the way out. Okay, now that we got those two AC lines off, that one was a 13 millimeter. Now we can unbolt that long bolt there, and then that nut down there that's on a stud. These are also 13 millimeter. That one loose, and then this one also a 13. This one's a really long bolt, so it's gonna take a bit, but we'll get it out. There you go. There's a long one. So now that we got those two out, we should be able to pry down on the AC compressor and tilt it down off of where it bolts into. And once it comes down and it gets out of the way of that like part on the engine block, then we can slide it out of that stud. Now, get yourself a pry bar. Find somewhere that you can pry the AC compressor at. Let's see if we can find a good spot. Might have to smack it down instead of prying it. There we go. It's a little stuck, but we got it out. Well, not all the way out. We got it out of where we needed to get it out of. Let's see. Now it should slide forward. Once we slide it forward, we should be able to get to that last connector on the back. I do believe I got it out. I think so. Yep. Now let's just pull this thing out. So there shouldn't be any reason why we can't get it out through here. There's tons of space. There we go. Wonder what happened to this compressor, because look, this is what we got. Oh, and there it goes. I don't know what the heck happened then. Oh no, it's internally busted. Well, I'm still kind of weirded out on what happened, but I can hear. You guys can hear that, unless that's just a bearing, but I mean, it's inside for sure. I feel it inside. Doesn't sound like anything right in front by the clutch. Well, whatever the deal is, thing's no good. We're gonna have to replace it. So tomorrow I'm gonna go get another one. Already too late for me to get one today, at least for the price that I want to get one for. I think AutoZone carries an AC Delco one. I want to say that one was like $350, 3 something, but we'll see if I decide to get that one. I don't know. All right guys, so I got the AC compressor. I got it from a place here locally. It's 1-800 Radiators. Usually they have whatever I need when it comes to AC stuff, and it's always cheaper. So this is a new compressor. Came with the O-rings. let's open this up and just make sure that it's the same one. So you gotta make sure everything is correct. It looks a little bit different. Like the clutch looks a little different. It sticks out a little bit more, but overall it looks all the same. I'm thinking what happened is that this all seized together. This one spins separately. This one doesn't. Yeah, I can kind of see some heat spots right here, so I'm thinking that's what happened. Everything looks similar except the clutch looks a little different. That's the only thing that looks a little off, but I mean, you can't expect it to be perfect when this is an OEM one and this is a aftermarket one. I don't even know what the brand is. Where to leave that box. The part name is like UAC or something like that. But I've never had problems with stuff from this place, so I think we'll be fine. So the only thing we have to do is make sure that this doesn't have any compressor oil, and if it does, we're gonna drain it out and add the correct amount in. So see, this should be a 13. Yeah, almost always is. Let's crack this one open. We're gonna add the oil in through here. This right here should be your drain and fill, but I've only ever used it to drain, and it probably has an O-ring. Let's see, does it? I don't think it has an O-ring. I think this is all it has. They usually have a little O-ring on them, but maybe this looks like a crush washer. That's probably what seals it. So let's get something to drain this. All right, now we got all the oil out. And put this bolt back in, and then make sure that you tighten this back up. Don't forget to tighten this. Now that we got that oil taken off and that bolt tightened up again, we're gonna take off this one. We're gonna add the oil in through this high side. And you got to make sure you add the correct amount of oil. So now that you drained it, you know it's empty, you can add the correct amount of oil. So from what I can tell, I took out right now about, I don't know, maybe 2 ounces, and it said that it takes only 1.4 ounces. It seems so little for just a compressor. I'm used to maybe like 3 ounces for like small cars. This compressor seems like it should take more. I'll probably add 2, maybe a little bit more than 2, and hope that it's gonna be good. And it takes PAG 46 for the type of oil that it needs to take. So just make sure you add oil. Maybe you guys can look up the specific amount for yours. That's just what I found, that it said it was only 2 ounces or less than 2 ounces. Seems so little, but I mean, I'm gonna roll with it and see what happens. After I add the oil, I like to turn it a couple times, make sure that it circulates through. And I also had to use this pick to just like gently press down like this little plunger that's in here, so that the oil would go down all the way. All right, now that we got all that taken care of, got the oil in there, made sure that that plug is tight. I'm leaving these in here just in case, for when I turn it around, that it hopefully doesn't leak on me. So now we go back over here to the truck, and we're gonna try and slide this in there. And you gotta make sure that you plug this connector in, this back one, before you put it in all the way, because once you get it in there, you're not going to be able to access this anymore. So plug this in, or slide it in there, plug this in, and then once you plug that in, you put it in further in, and then you have to get this one on that stud first. It's slided, so you go on the stud and then tilt to the right or clockwise, and then you can put that long bolt that goes straight through in. So let's see if I can do this right now. Should be able to. This might be the harder part, is getting that connector plugged in, only because I can't reach. Okay, I'll make sure that once you plug it in, if you should hear it click, but if you didn't hear it click, pull back on the connector to make sure that it locked into place, but not from the wires. Grab the actual plastic part of the connector and then pull back. Got it on the stud. Now we can slide this long bolt on. And make sure that that one threads in. And looks as though it did. Let's tighten this up. Really need to get my electric ratchet fixed, or buy a new one, because that really makes this a lot quicker. Not like I've never had to work like this before, but after using it for so many years now, I'm like, man, I just spent an extra 5 minutes tightening one bolt when I could have just had the electric ratchet and do it all for me. Okay, so we got that top bolt on. Now what do we got left? We got the nut that goes on the stud. We got to put that on. Put that one on, make sure that we don't forget to tighten that one. After that, we got the hoses to put back on. We got to make sure that we put our O-rings on and take those little caps off that we left on there. Let's not forget that. After that, we just gotta put everything back together, and I still need to clean off this harmonic balancer, because it has all the belt that like got caked on here, so I gotta clean that. And I'll probably show you guys the whole stretch belt thing, because I wasn't able to take it off since it had ripped off on me. But we'll need to take this belt, the main serpentine belt, we'll have to take that one off to put the AC belt on. So get yourself whatever you can get in there. If you got a 1/2-inch ratchet, that works. If not, I got this breaker bar. You just move it to the left counterclockwise, and it'll loosen tension on the belt. Alright, now that that's loose, I'm just gonna take it off over here from the, well, looks like it all came off, but I was just trying to get it off of the crank, off the harmonic balancer. I already cleaned that as well. What we're gonna do is put the belt on the outside or inside of the crank pulley with the harmonic balancer and get it onto the AC compressor. Okay, now we got it on there. We got it on the AC compressor. We're gonna put it over the crank. All right, now that we have it on there, I'm gonna hope that this stays put and try and hold it. I'm gonna try to hold it with one hand, and then with the other hand I'm gonna try and turn the crank pulley to get it to stretch on. And it should be a 24 millimeter for the crank. Just hope that it stays put. If not, I might have to get underneath and do it. All right, I got that stretch fit belt on there, and that's a bit of a pain. I would say you need 2 people to do that, unless you got a lift and you can do it from underneath and hold it, but that's a bit of a job. Or I'm sure there's probably a tool that you can use if you want to do it by yourself. Now that that's done, I can put the serpentine belt back on, put the rest of this back together, button it up, and get this thing recharged. All right, got the AC all charged up. It says 40 degrees on the thermometer, and once we start rolling around, it should get colder than that. But yeah, the compressor itself was fairly easy to replace, but that belt was a mission. So maybe there's other ways of doing it. I didn't look it up, but from what I remember, that's how I remember doing it, and I don't remember it being that hard. I feel like I remember doing it myself, but I ended up needing to get help so that I could get 1 or 2 hands on the belt, so that it would stay on the crank pulley and then wouldn't come off the compressor, and then my helper turning the crank. So maybe if I would have put like a zip tie on it, I don't know, possibly, but I would suggest a second set of hands for that belt. Everything else, cake. Anyways guys, I hope this helps you guys out, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.